Look, hating on me, don't stop. Only help a real cause. Hood legend on some pocket. Manifested till I'm living large. High ballin' cause the sky fallin'. I'ma catch a little piece though. I ain't worried about your little no, she easy as a free throw. She wanna hold me like ransom. Just cause I'm young and I'm handsome. Tell all these to have a seat. I know that they cannot stand them. Burn it and roll me another one. I do whatever I feel like. I remember when we dreamed about it. Woke up this morning, it's real life. Trade the whip, trade the currency. Moving like it's an emergency. We gotta check out, it's close to 11, so baby ride it with some urgency. I'm just here for the fun part, cause I'm good on the money part. I be leaving in the cold season, coming back for the sunny part. With us and get your money up. With us and get your wig split. Ever since I was a little boy, I've been plotting on the big. Bigger pockets, bigger resume. When you keep it, really resonate. If he really want it, never hesitate. If he mad at me, he better meditate. You ain't gotta like it, you just gotta live with it. Never gave us nothing. Look at what we did with it. In a foreign city, moving like I live in it. Never call them back. Bet you that they still with it. You ain't gotta like it, nah, you just gotta live with it. Never gave us nothing. Look at what we did with it. In a foreign city, yeah, moving like I live in it. Never call them back, nah, I bet you that they still with it. Never had a thing running to my hamstring, cramping up. Moving like a campaign, smoothie with the plantain, damper up.
Right, welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, DMG the Poet, aka Brother Pianki. We got a powerful show with another powerful guest. It is Takeover Tuesday. And y'all know what we do with these takeover shows. It's all about the individual who we have on the show. That being said, y'all know I got to do my spiel before we get into our spiel. So allow me to say, Hotep to all my Kemetic brothers and sisters. God bless to all my Christian brothers and sisters. I want to say shalom to all my Israelite brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum to all my brothers and sisters in the NOI. I want to say Islam to all my Moorish brothers and sisters. I want to say peace to all my brothers and sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5%ers. I want to say what's up to all my atheist brothers and sisters. Salute to all my Abo brothers and sisters. I want to say what's up to all my Rasta brothers and sisters. I want to say what's up to all my Owaspi brothers and sisters. Creator gang. Salute to all my Naga brothers and sisters. Those electromagnetic messiahs. Last and certainly not least, I want to say Jumbo to all the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason, and one reason only, is because if you're Black, I'm with you, and I hope that you with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting, and we can have unity without uniformity. Last and certainly not least, we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. With all that being said, my brother, please introduce yourself to the Paradigm Shift TV 314 audience.
The Moorish Barbarian, you know what I'm saying, representing them barbarians out there. Down with the Lions Den, you know what I'm saying, 3BY, what's up? What's going on, DMG?
Oh, man, you got it, man. So, I appreciate you coming through and chopping it up with us for a little minute, man. Shout out to the Barbarians. I see y'all in the building. I see my man Hemi, biblical barbarian. We got a Moorish barbarian and a biblical barbarian. When we do this tandem division, y'all need to team up. But shout out to my sister, Random Info. Shout out to the Barbarian Queen in the building. And okay, we got about 16 people in the building. Let's see what we got going on. All right, y'all know what it is, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get right into it, brother. So what made you want to come over and chop it up with old DMG? Was it the what guest raised your eyebrow and made you say, let me get over here and put down my demonstration?
I guess I could say when him and me start debating over here, you know what I'm saying? That's what got me, you know what I'm saying, totally aware of the channel. And yeah, you know, I would love to get in the Versus series, do my thing in there.
Okay. That's what's up, man. How did you like that Versus series logo? It wasn't too much, was it?
Nah, I liked it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, exactly where it needed to be. Good looking.
That's what's up. Shout out to Ray Ray. I always be surprised when the sister Ray Ray be up in here, because especially when my man Hemi not on the screen. But shout out to the sister. Shout out to the sister and everybody else watching. That being said, we're going to get right into these questions, bro. So I asked you to describe yourself to me, and you gave me a hell of a description. So based on that description you gave me, I'm going to start off with question number one. You made it clear that you were born a Moorish American, not converted. Can you explain what that distinction means to you personally and historically?
No doubt. Good question. Shout out to the Bar Reloaded, man. We in the building. First of all, you know, just coming from the standpoint of a childhood, because most people who's converted, they never was a Moorish child. So when you going through the childhood of being a Moor, you know, going against those obstacles and standing on your square, you have a different respect and a different level of understanding of who you are and where you come from.
Okay. No doubt. Okay. Well, we're gonna get right to question number two. Many people confuse Moorish Americans with so-called sovereign citizens. Can you clarify the difference and why it's important to make that separation clear?
Another good question. The difference is a sovereign citizen. All right, I'm gonna start with them first, right? So a sovereign citizen, when they're doing their standing on their sovereign square, they have to claim a nation, you know. So, and 9 times out of 10, we could see what nation what they claim, because that's a nation that represents the people who look like them. So when they're doing that, right, they're just standing on the laws and that Moors have in the Moorish nation. So at that point, when they're doing what they're doing, it's going against the bylaws of the Moors, because we're part and partial of the government, of said government. In any land that we go to, we got to go by the laws of the land. So in this land, they've written in a couple laws that, you know, that are against so-called Black people, right? So that's the reason why the sovereign nation, they claim to the Moorish nation, because they know that the Moorish nation, those so-called Black codes don't apply. So they can really claim any nation, but, you know, they claim the Moorish nation because we actually have law and standing. Now I'm gonna go to like a Moorish American like myself. So a Moorish American like myself, we're standing on the square in the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, and we're backed by an organization, a charter, and like I said, the laws that apply to the sovereign citizens are basically hijacking, apply to us. So at the end of the day, that's I guess that's the biggest distinction is that.
Gotcha. All right, let's go with number 3. You've spoken about having a free. Well, let me rephrase this question. Do you have free national name, flag, and birthright? And if so, how do those elements shape your daily life, civic engagement, and your view of nationality within the United States?
That's a good question. I'll start with the nationality part, right? So when we're dealing with nationality, right? So then that goes to like the first question, I'll deal with that, the free national name. So Moors have 3 free national names that, that we could use any national free, we could use others, but the ones that were listed in the that we have is Al, Ali, and Bay, right? So at the end of the day, people who are born with the European last name without these titles attached to.
You went out, bro. Did you mute?
The laws that make a
Hey, bro,
distinction.
you had went out for a few seconds, so we didn't get to hear the whole thing.
My fault. My fault. I don't know where I left off on, so I'll just leave on. I'll just start with there's a distinction between Moors and people who don't claim to have this, nationality. So when you say with somebody who doesn't, it's hard to explain without the visual. So could you put up I guess it might be the first email that I sent you. Because
Okay.
I hate using my own words. It's easier to explain stuff with, what I'm saying, you can understand it when stuff is written out.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second. Matter of fact, I'll just pull them all up, and then if that's not the correct one, then you can let me know. And in the meantime, while I'm pulling those up, what intrigues you most about competing in the Versus series?
Just to show my talent, I'm a barbarian. We come together as a conglomerate of debaters, right? And our main objective is to collect heads. So, it is what it is. I'm looking to collect heads out here and put them on the bar wall. I mean, at the end of the day,
Okay.
I definitely,
Yeah, the Barbarian Queen, as I call
her. I'm definitely standing on my barbarian square for sure.
You breaking up a brother.
Can you hear me?
No doubt. And
I said,
again, I don't know if anybody else call it a Barbarian Queen, but that's what I'm sticking to. I always got to give people shout out. It seemed like she building her a nice little roster. Let me know if this is the right slide.
No, it's blue.
All right, let me. You said it's blue.
Yeah.
Let me. I don't see a blue one. Hold up. Let me go. Maybe I didn't download it. Give me 1 second. You said it's blue. Is it blue or green?
Green. It might be like bluish or green. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I know which one now. All right. All right.
And I had these, like I said, set up for just in case you ask me a question like this. And I don't have to use my own words.
Right.
So
Right.
that's small because I'm on my phone. But if you could read it for the audience, and then they can have a clear understanding.
All right. It says House of Representatives, May 4th, Mr. Peters moved that the vote by which resolution number 80 passed the House be considered. Mr. Ford seconded the motion. The motion was agreed to. Mr. Peters moved that the resolution be laid upon the table. The motion was agreed to. Mr. Whitkin called up resolution number 17. The resolution was read as follows. In the House of Representatives, April 17th, 1933, many sons and daughters of the proud and handsome race which inspired the architecture of Northern Africa and carried into Spain the influence of its artistic temperament have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home and the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. This society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of those principles which were necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of the titles and name and exactions that were so familiar to home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents. Therefore, be it resolved that the House commends the Moorish American Society of Philadelphia for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest right of religious independence guaranteed every citizen, we recognize also the right of these people to use the name El or Bay or any other prefix or suffix to which they have heretofore been accustomed to, or which they may hereafter acquire the right to use. On the question, will the House adopt the resolution? It was adopted. Mr. Root offered the following resolution, which twice read, considered, and adopted.
All right. Now that right there was in 1933, right? So I'm saying that in 1933 there was Moors who was standing on their square, and they went into to the House of Representative, and you know asked them for the rights for us to use our names, right? That we had previously, and names that we think of that we might come up with later, right? So I'm saying that at this point we're going to the government and actually, can you hear me?
Yeah, you blanked out for a second, but I can hear you.
We went to the government, right, to to get these things accomplished. Now, anybody else, that's basically in this conscious community, right? I'm saying they haven't shown that they have went to the government and stood on anything, right? Because there'd be a lot of talking in the streets, or however which way you want to look at it in the YouTube world, or however wherever they're at. But when you go to the government and you stand on something, that means a lot, right? Because that's not no play, right? Anything else is you playing around. So when I say that I'm Apollo Bay, right? I'm standing on my square. When I pull my ID out, it say that's what it says, right? That's why I say that these other people, when they are representing the people that they say that they come from, they switch up their name to some other name, like I call it Batman, right? While you on these YouTube streets or wherever you at in the conscious community, you're Batman. And then, when you go into the real world, you turn into Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man, that's not I mean, that's not how it's really supposed to go, right?
Oh, that is hilarious, bro. That is
No,
hilarious.
no, it's real though, right? When
No,
you pull your
it's
ID
real.
out, you
It's
should
real.
be this person that you saying you is, right? I mean,
That is
at
a
the
hell
end
of
of
a
the
way
day,
of putting it, though. That is a hell of a way of putting it. Because look, hey, one of the reasons I say your brother, now DMG is just my initials. It's my father name and my son name, but it's just my initials.
right?
But I always say AKA Brother Pianki because you're right. In the confines of the Kemetic community that I was once a member of, and on YouTube, I was Pianki Patah Muntu Nefer Amun Ra. But when I walked about my daily life, I was still that name that I was born with. So it was just the way you put it was hilarious, but you're absolutely correct.
I mean, though, that goes back to answering the question about being converted and being born into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was born into it, so I didn't have to go through the changes of. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? That's just when you recognizing who you is. So if you were to change your name to that and stood on that, I mean, it is what it is at that point. That's all I'm asking. Like, if that's
Right,
what you
right.
stand that you is, well, stand on that, right? Don't tell me that that's your name, and
Real,
then when
real
you
quick,
pull
brother.
your
Let me.
ID out, it say Richard Simmons. Like, come
Right,
on, man.
right. No, you keeping it a buck. I gotta hit one of these for you right quick because you is keeping it a buck right now. It was just funny to me the analogy that you used. But real quick, I gotta do this. I gotta shout out the godmother of Paradigm Shift TV 314, the one and only, the most honorable Mama B, aka Barbara Cunningham. Salute to the godmother of Paradigm Shift TV 314. I said it once, I say it a million times. If you against Mama B, you against DMG. Kick rocks till your toes bleed. Salute to Barbara Cunningham. I appreciate you being here, Mama B. Go ahead, my brother. I apologize. I just had to get that out the way.
No doubt, no doubt. So I'm just showing the people that, this was in 1933, man. There wasn't no civil rights. There wasn't none of the things that you could think of to, the protections that you have. This was when it was straight, and everybody know what time it was in that time when you was going into them courtrooms, right? In front of all of them Caucasians. You know what they was what type of games they was playing. You had to come with exact sound. You had to be all the way 200% right. Right? You could be 100% right and they still would play you. So at the end of the day, when they're getting, the government to agree with this in 1933, it gotta be respected. And this is the first. You talk about being woke. This is the first somebody show me being woke before this, right? The Moors started we got our first temple in 1915, right? Show me before 1915 somebody standing on a square and saying, this is who I am, and this is where I come from, and this is what it is, right? we gotta put some respect on the Moors name, man, for real. Like, let's keep it real, right? Who's making the moves and who's really doing what, right? So if you go to the other slide that I put that was after this, I'm gonna put it and link it all together, right? Because like I said, that was in 1933, right?
You
We
talking
want to
about
see,
the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
yeah, we want to see did that still apply in this times, right? Because someone will be like, well, that was a long time ago, right? Nah, man, we gonna show and prove on this.
Okay. All right. You want me to read it?
Yeah, could you read it for him?
All right. This is from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Hold on, before you start, let me give a little prelude to this, right? So in 1974, my father went to go change his name, right? And he filled something out wrong on the application. So this is the Commonwealth writing him back and basically telling him to which answers to fill out on the form, so everything could go through on what he's trying to do. So now you could read it.
Right. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Department of Transportation, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Harrisburg. This is April 4th, 1974, 2 years before I was born. So it says, dear sir, now a part of it is cut off, so I just read it how I can, that you will not be inconvenienced. We are enclosing current operator's license, listing operator number, and then it gives the number. And now I'm assuming it says we are returning MV-75 form concerning change of name. In order to change your name from blank to blank to the national free name of blank, it will be necessary to recheck question 3 and complete question 4 on the form. Also, complete the enclosed MV-72 form. Attach a copy of at least one other document as evidence of the use or intended use of the new name for other purpose. Example, Social Security, insurance, banking, voting, or property records, or a copy of application to at least one agency indicating the intent to use the new, and that part is cut off, but it says very truly yours, Walter R. Markham, Director, Bureau of Motor Vehicles. So definitely seemed like a legit document from the government. Shout out to my man King Naga in the building, one of those electromagnetic messiahs I shouted out at the beginning of the show. Shout out to that brother. Shout out to
my fault, brother.
Lion in the building. I don't know what you in there saying, Zion, but you must be on fire because your name keep popping up. But go ahead, brother, respond to what you have had me read.
All right, so right there, that's showing that, right, the government wrote my dad back saying that if you want to change your name into your free national name. So let's deal with that. What's a free national name? So I read you the House Resolution 75, where it was adopted that we could use these names, right? Now I'm showing you it actually being used, and that the government's it actually being used in the government saying that it's a free national name, right? So I'm gonna ask you a question. I got a question for you. If you free, is there one free or two frees? Like if you free, is you all the way free, or is just there's something? If you supposed to be free, is there something else that you got to do? If you was free, right, you would be all the way free, ain't that right?
Rephrase that question. You kind of you threw me off with the two
if you
versions.
right, I'm saying if you're free, if somebody say you free, right, then that means it's it. You should be free. There shouldn't be no other free, right?
Right.
Right. So I'm showing right there that my dad, right, he got a free national name. At least that's what the government is saying. So if he was already free, how could he get a free national name?
Damn. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Right. So the reason why I'm saying this is to ask you that question is just to show the validity of what's going on here, right? So I'm saying my dad wasn't born free. I'm showing you that my dad wasn't born free. They're telling him he wasn't born free. Because if he was born free, then he would already have a free name. You don't get free and then you get free again. You could that that would be saying my dad was free and then he got double free. No, there's only one free. Either you free or you not free. Right? So I'm showing you the difference between being emancipated and being free. It's two different things, and they're showing you it's two different things. Now let's go to me, right? I was born free. The first person in my family that was born free since we was enslaved.
So hold on, because now I got to make sure I'm tracking. So because your father took the steps to gain real freedom, you saying you, and I don't know if you have siblings, but you, your siblings, your offspring or y'all offspring, y'all were then subsequently born free. Am I tracking?
No, right, because I was born with the name that he changed into.
Right.
See, he changed his name to that. But I was born. That's what I'm showing you the difference of being converted into being born into it. The being born in and the being sworn in.
Got you. Shout out. So that's JJ in the chat. Okay. Shout out to Mandinka Molly in the chat. He say he got a belt. Hey JJ, if you putting a belt on the line, man, let's go and do that Black existentialism debate. I want a belt. I just want to be able to put a belt on these broad shoulders. As my wife say I got broad shoulders. I don't know if that's true, but I would love to put a belt up here, brother, if you're gonna put it on the line. Shout out to the legendary Mandinka Molly, aka JJ 7000 in the building. I think the brother said he dealing with EFI now. That's a hell of a man. I got to get him on one of these interviews, man, and find out how you go from being an Israelite to an EFA practitioner. But back to the lecture at hand, so to speak, with our brother, our brother Apollo Bay. No, that's a good breakdown, bro. Cause so you were the first person in your family, essentially, according to what you're saying to me, is you were the first person in your family born free.
Correct. I mean, I'm not saying it. That's what the government is saying, right?
Okay. Woo. So let me ask you this. So at 48 years old, I'll be 49 in October. Could I still become a member? Because we got a Moorish Science Temple here in St. Louis. I pass it all the time. Sometimes I see the brothers coming out and I be wanting to stop and ask them, can I build with them? Can I get one of them to come on the channel? I just haven't had the heart to do it yet. But could I go to those brothers and say, hey, I want to learn more about this? Can I, at 48, is it too late for me to become free, or can I still learn about this and potentially, do what it takes to become free?
That's a good question, right? And I only can show you by, like I said, I don't like using my own words, but I'm showing you that my dad, he did that when he was in his 20s. So there ain't no age limit on it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because and believe it or not, that was an on the fly DMG question. You know, my system random info be making fun of my questions because they really be like 2 or 3 questions in one a lot of times, which is, but that was on the fly because as you talking, I'm kind of like, man, I pass them brothers all the time, literally all the time, and I see them, and I have always wanted to engage with them. That's why I shout them out. I shout everybody out at the beginning of the show, but that's why I include them because of passing them, literally passing them in the street, whether it be just riding on a Sunday or on my way to church with the Queen, whatever the case may be. I do see them out there. So I've always been a little curious about that. So that being said, man, do you want to expound on that last question some more, or you want to move to the next
one?
And I can reread it.
You can reread it. Yeah, you can reread it.
Okay, so it says, do you have a free national name, flag, and birthright? And how, if so, how do those elements shape your daily life, civic engagement, and your view of nationality? Now, I think you've answered the free national name. And by extension of that, I think you answered the birthright question. So we could talk about whether or not you have a flag and how that affects your civil engagement and your view of nationality. And I will put the question up on the screen for you as well.
So we definitely have a flag, right? And this is everything because you have to have a flag. You have to be represented by a flag. Every nation on the earth is represented by a flag, right? And I'm saying if you standing on your square and you saying who you are, then you're representing the flag that you saying that you are, right? So I'm saying that, I'm claiming a country in Africa, right? 2 of them. I deal with Morocco and Mauritania, right? So I'm saying at the end of the day, everybody's not Africans this over in America, right? And that's not what I'm saying. And everybody's not Moors. Clearly, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm claiming something. I'm standing on something, right? And most people who I'm having a conversation with, they're not standing on nothing, right? And then 9 times out of 10, they become these more scholars out of the clear blue, out of the Google blue, right? They become more scholars, and then I ask them, "Well, what are you?" Right? And they can't give me no information. But if I ask them about Moors, they got all this information for me, right? They know all who I am, but I ask them who they are, they don't know, they can't tell me nothing.
That's right? Hilarious.
It's all hilarious to me. I'm just showing you, because you said about daily life. So I'm just showing you how I look at things through my daily life. It's hilarious to me, right? All this scholarship, all this, I be like, you use all this brain power on knowing about Moors, but you don't know nothing about yourself. Wow, that's crazy. It's crazy work, right? And then the answers that you give me is the ones that I got on the shirt, right? All the easy default, you know what I'm saying? These are default answers. These are, if you don't need to use no brain power to say you one of these, right? So I'm saying at this point, if you're one of these on this shirt, don't ask me no questions, right? Because I can't ask you nothing, Right?
Mm.
All of your history is in a couple little centuries. Basically, you just all slave work. Right? While everybody else in the world, Craig, is claiming the nation.
Wait a minute. Who did you say?
I just said Craig and them, off of the
I thought I was like, hey man, my ears a little big, but people accuse me of not being able to hear. So I just had to make sure I heard you correctly. I was like, did he just say Craig? I'm gonna say you talking to both of them. Not usually I would have just put it on ratchet, but now I'm gonna put it on classic too. I'm gonna say you talking to both of the homies. But go ahead, brother. My bad.
I'm just up here trying to show it. There's a difference, man. Right? And no matter, right, when I'm saying these things, there's some people that you didn't even know you was a coon. Right? I'm if you feel a way about me claiming a nation in a country of Africa, then you just a coon. Right? Because at the end of the day, that's all you gonna do at the end of the day. In which you gonna take a DNA test and then do the same thing that I'm doing right now, copy it step for step. Right? That's crazy work to me. Right? And I'm just showing you I don't need to take a DNA test to say I come from West Africa. I'm showing you that in the House Resolution 101, they're already saying which Moors and who they're talking about. The Moors that went up in Spain, they're clearly telling you that, yeah, they're over here in America. I don't care if it was just one of them at this point. Now we a whole nation. This is 100 years later, too. So at the end of the day, we got to put some respect. Like I said, man, we got to put some respect to who started, who's forefronting of what's going on, right? And we're gonna deal with these black codes, because if you look up the black codes right now, right? If you put could you put the black codes on the screen? Because this deals with everything in the question of what we talking about, blacks.
Okay. Let's see.
You could put black codes of Virginia.
Yep, I see. Wait a minute. I got the pending war.
No, not the I need you to just Google this.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought that was one of your slides. My bad.
No, I just need you to Google this, because people don't really understand the game that's being played.
You said black codes of Virginia?
Yeah, I just because Virginia to be listing them, and they go way back. And then people will try to act like this doesn't apply to them, right? They'll say, "Oh, this is old. This is everything that you're fighting for."
You want me to read it, or you want me to share it? Okay,
it says either or. I would like you to share so they can see it, because seeing is believing. They don't believe that this still exists.
So now it does give an AI overview. So let me read that, and then you stop me if that's not what you're talking about.
All right.
It says the term black codes refers to restrictive laws enacted in the southern United States after the Civil War to limit the rights and freedoms of newly freed African Americans. While the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, the black codes aim to maintain white supremacy and control over the black population, often by restricting the economic opportunities and social interactions. In Virginia, these laws included provisions that limited the ability of former enslaved people to own property, testify in court against white people, or exercise the right to vote, and also impose severe penalties for vagrancy.
All right, now, like I said, they just listed a couple, but it's really a long list.
It elaborates on the Virginia side of things with employment restrictions, restrictions on mobility and assembly, legal disenfranchisement, racial segregation, and vagrancy laws, which these laws targeted unemployed Black African Americans, making it a crime to be without visible means of support. These effectively forced many into exploitative labor arrangements with former slaveholders. That's crazy.
Minimum wage, right, is what they basically saying is today. So I'm just saying that right now, if they asked for all the so-called Black people, what do y'all want? Right? The things that people will start saying that they want will be things that's on that list that you'll be wanting to take off. And they don't even know about this list. The things that's going on in their everyday life is on that list. People coming in employment problems, housing problems, all type of discrimination problems that they're saying that they're going through. But this is the same thing. These problems that you're going through is because you're saying you're Black. So now let's picture me, who's saying that I'm a person who never said that they was Black ever. I never said that I was a Black person. So it's like I'm in 12 years a slave. I'm surrounded by all of these slaves trying to tell them I'm free, and they don't believe me. I gotta show them papers. Like, yo, I got papers sent, yo, that I'm free out here. It's the only way y'all gonna believe me. If I just try to tell you what it is, you wouldn't even believe me. You just be laughing and be like, nah, you the same as me. But now that I'm showing papers saying no, there's a difference, and the government is recognizing this difference because they know how many people got free national names. They're letting you, they're by the fact that they wrote my dad didn't write the when he went to do a name change, he didn't do a free national name change. There is no free national name papers. Let's start right there. There ain't no nothing that you could fill out. You could fill out a regular name change. And they know what time it is. That's all my dad did, filled out for a regular name change. They wrote him back and said, yo, we see what you trying to do.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you even realize this, bro. You the first Moor I've ever had on this channel. So my goal when I first started this channel, everybody I shout out at the beginning of the show, I wanted to have each member of those people I shout out on the show. Shout out to Zion. He was like, hey man, you don't never shout out the rosters. Shout out to the guy, Body Moore Simmons. He was like, what's up, DMG? You don't never shout out the guys in Earth, man. What's going on? So over the years, I've added to it, but I do wanna interview everybody I shout out because I feel like Black people is definitely, and I'm talking about Black people here in America. We not a monolith. We got a lot of different ideologies and thought processes, spiritual traditions that we follow, and I feel like everybody deserves to be heard. Shout out to the Godfather of Consciousness, Sinetta, because he the person who, based on his blueprint of having everybody on and letting them speak their speech, that's the same track that I'm trying to follow. So shout out to you for being my first Moor interview. Hey Zion, you got to send me the MP3, bro. That way I'll be able to upload it and then I'll be able to play it on the channel. I definitely want to do that. I gotta get some of Henry tracks on here too. He didn't send me some. So yeah, send me the MP3. If you need my email address, just hit my inbox and we'll get that in. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the chat. But go ahead, brother. I ain't mean to throw you off with my rambling.
But like I said, I just was basically trying to show that, you know, at the end of the day, and people will say because they can't see it in their everyday life. about something that doesn't matter. Anything that doesn't matter to somebody in their everyday life, they can't really understand it or respect it. And I get that, right? There's stuff I don't care about, so it don't even really matter to me. But at the end of the day, right? When you ask me about in my everyday life of how all this applies, I'm just saying that while my peoples aren't doing the background, and the research on who they are, so they're claiming these things that what they're not, right? So now the game gets to be ran on me because my peoples want to stay in the state that they're in because of if everybody was claiming a nationality, those black codes wouldn't even be able to get applied because there would be no black people to apply it to. I'm not saying that I don't like black. I love black, right? I coached 17 years with my kids. Our team colors was the Raiders, right? My hood colors, we wear black rags. I love black. So no, don't nobody get it twisted because I'm saying, no, I'm talking about the reality that when you look in the mirror, you see bronze, you see brown, right? That's the reality. That's real. Somehow, I guess there ain't no power in brown power. Saying that, I guess that don't hold the same weight.
I think it's taken by some other people, bro.
Right. But I'm saying when we look in the mirror, we see brown and then lie to ourselves and say black. I got a black t-shirt up there, right? I ain't nobody that color. So at the end of the day, when you see brown in the mirror, bronze, right? And I'm not even trying to be on nothing biblical, but when they do say who the Messiah looks like and they give his description, it's bronze, right?
Oh man.
I'm saying that's
Oh,
the same color we is, and then they done tripped up to say black. So you ain't even gonna say the same color of the Messiah.
I had to give you the holy, you know what, chant, bro. Hold up, man. You turning up for me now. You. I know you say you ain't trying to get on nothing biblical, but I caught it. That's all I'm saying. I caught it, bro. So it's all good. It's all good.
No doubt. I'm just saying, man. If you want to keep it 100 with yourself, right? When you look in the mirror, you don't see black, you see brown. And there's nothing wrong with saying brown or bronze or whatever complexion that you is under that spectrum, right? Just keep it real with yourself. If you're lighter complexion, it's cool. I understand that we rallied around the black thing, right? And we did that for a time. But I'm saying at the end of the day, I'm showing you when it comes to them laws, when it comes to the record books, when you talking about writing stuff down and standing on business, yeah, they got something for that. And they showing you that there's a difference between me and I don't apply to none of those black codes. If they tried it with me, I could stand on business and be like, yo, hold on, man. Hey, wait a minute now. There's a little thing that I could, extra couple words that I could say other than what the average African American or black person or what type of conversation even that I would have. Right? Because at the end of the day, I'm definitely not calling them a white man. So
before I move to my fourth question, elaborate briefly on civic engagement. How has it affected your civic engagement?
Right. So I understand that white and black are statuses. Right. So when you're calling that European Caucasian a white man, you're just putting him in white status, which is above you. You're putting you when you say that, you put him above you. Because when he goes back to the country where he's from, he's not a white man. No, he's whatever country that he's from, that's what he is. He's only a white man in America because y'all don't understand status. That's why I showed you black codes. That's a status. Anybody claiming that status is going to get treated like that. But that's the program. So they programmed you to go with the status of where they want to put you at. And when you don't play the game no more, the status doesn't work anymore. The only reason why the status can even work on me is because it's working on all of y'all. I need y'all to stop, like to say no more. Nah, I'm this, and I stand on this. And then when you do that, a whole nother door opens up.
Got you. Got you. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and move to this fourth question. What are some of the most misunderstood teachings of Noble Drew Ali, and how do you feel those teachings have been misrepresented or diluted in mainstream or fringe narratives? Let me read it one more time. What are some of the most misunderstood teachings of Noble Drew Ali, and how do you feel those teachings have been misrepresented or diluted in mainstream or fringe narratives?
Good question. Mainly the points that I just brought up. Like, so understanding nationality, right? They downplayed that all the way to the fact that we're the only people in the world who don't claim one, right? So, and what about having a free national name? Like, understanding what it when you represent something, like when you hear Gonzalez, you already put that to a Mexican. You don't even have to sing. You just automatically think that he's something in that type of nationality or ethnic background, right? And I'm saying when you pull out your ID and it say Joe Smith, what is that really saying? Like what are you saying about you and where you at with it when we go by these names? Right? What is you saying? You just bowing all the way down? Is that's what it is? Because when you go into the other part of your life, when you say that you woke, you don't go by that name. I don't see, you know what I mean? So why ain't we just operating under the what who you saying that you are?
You cooking, bro.
I'm just keeping it all the way real, right? So they downplayed that all the way to the point where now people are arguing about are they abos and they come from here, at this point, wherever somebody say that they from, man, that's where they from. Like, how are you arguing with somebody who's actually claiming something at this point? Just let them claim it. Who is it hurting? Nobody, right? So when you do some brain power using to think of a way where somebody cannot be something, it's just totally ridiculous if you're not claiming nothing, right? Do the math on yourself and then, you know what I'm saying? Bag it up, then get money, man. What is they doing now?
Man, you is cooking, bro. Hey, you know what? Okay. So
Oh,
now
I got one
go
more
ahead.
thing to say on that.
Continue. Yeah, that's a multi-layered question.
There's another part. There's another part to this, right? And I'm gonna deal with these, especially for these Google scholars, right? They'll Google something on Noble Drew Ali, right? And then, so let's really understand what you're doing, right? So you're going to the man's enemies and then trying to get information on. So when they say all of these unbelievable things or something that's not adding up, right? I'm sorry, I went out, but when they're saying things that's unbelievable, right? And they're in things that's not adding up. I'm just saying that's like if I went to anybody's enemies and then asked them for a report on you, of course they're gonna say the wildest thing they could say about you. right? And but this is where the people are going to get their information. They're going to get their information from my prophet's enemies, man. And that's like corny. Because when you go to his peoples, they got nothing but good things to say to him, right? About it. If you go to the scholars that was around at his time, why don't you have none of the master teachers, the scholars that was around at that time, none of your Dr. Blends, Dr. Clarks, Ivan Van Sertima's, Stanley Pools, none of these people who were into knowledge at that time had anything bad to say about it. But now we got these coons coming up 100 years later. They got everything to say. It's ridiculous, right? So I'm saying, if you want to get some knowledge about Noble Drew Ali, go to a Moor and ask them. At least one that you think is a real, right? And just ask them. Because you're probably going to get a whole different understanding of what you're getting from just Googling them and doing a Wikipedia search, man. This is crazy, right? So I'm saying, when they're saying all of these things, calling him a magician and a circus and all of this stuff, like, all right, cool, right? But they ain't talking about, did he put nationality and gave us a flag and free national name? Why ain't they put that in there? Why can't you Google that? Right? It's funny you can't Google none of the real stuff, but you could get all the Jerry Springer, you know what I'm saying, tabloid stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, you cooking, man. You is cooking. All right, man. This is my last question, bro. And you could, once you expound on this question, we can open it up for the chat, or we can get ready to close this thing out. How do you see the role of Moorish Americans in today's social and political climate, particularly when it comes to the fight for justice, identity, and empowerment within the quote unquote Black community? And I can put it on the screen if you need me to.
Cool, I got this one. So let's just keeping it real, right? I'm gonna keep it all the way real. It's Takeover. We're gonna keep it all the way 100. Moors, and I'm gonna mostly, I'm gonna try to speak for us as a whole on this question right here. Like, we don't really care about nothing that nobody else is doing. I'm just keeping it a beat. I'm just like all the way 100. If you asked a more for more, do we even care what is like outside of our nation of who we are? Do we even care what's going on with everybody else? Not really, right? I mean, because we got to understand what's really going on here, right? When you trying to deal with nationhood and you want to build your nation, and whatever steps that you're doing to further that process, because we're coming up on 100 years, right? That's a long time for something to be in operation, right? And I was going to put this one slide up because it would show how the feds have been investigating us since the 40s, right? They not investigating none of y'all other little side groups, man. Y'all not even investigatable worth. So I'm just saying that when we're getting infiltrated like that, like, so I'm just keeping it real. Like, you gotta have close quarters, and this is the reason why Moors ain't on the corners just shouting out and letting you know like everything. Because at the end of the day, if we was to try to open it up and have our views shared, right? It's hard to do that with somebody who don't understand law. And if you understand that most Moors are competent in law, we understand law better than the average citizen. And when you understand that when you're saying things like when you call yourself Black, it just puts you in a category where we're trying to fight away from. We're trying to fight a way to get away from those Black codes and those Black laws and things that they set up for Black people.
Your volume went down for a minute. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm it's my fault. Somebody tried to call me. But it
Gotcha.
when people are aligning themselves with a fight, this hard, it's like an unfightable, unwinnable fight. Because when we all come together and when we do stand on something, we're going to call ourselves something, right? We're going to do basically all of the steps that the Moors already did. Right now, we would if they said, okay, what do y'all want? Right? What do we really want? What are you saying? What is the objective of what black people are saying that they really want? Right? And there's a couple things that you'll probably come up with. And I'm saying at the time that you're trying to come up with those things, I'm saying that when you're trying to come from it from this angle, like I said, calling yourself an African American, we really know that's a default answer. Calling yourself black, that's a default answer if somebody was actually asking you who you are and what do you stand on. Because if you name any of those names, then you're saying that you're just claiming the United States and that you're just claiming the people who actually put the whooping on you, right? And I'm saying that that's not how the world works. The world works with nation to nation, and that's how they deal with each other. And I'm saying that I'm American. I have no problem. Born in America. I'm American. But I say what kind of American that I am. Africa is 54 countries, right? You got to pick one. You can't say you're from the whole Africa. That's not how it works. So, like I said, if you're going to stand on something, you have to be right and exact when you're standing on it. That's why when them brothers came in 1933 and said who they were and they stood on it, they had to say yes. This is the first time people are self-identifying with something that's other than the defaults. Saying I'm this, call me this. This is what it is, and I'm not going with nothing else. So when I'm saying, if I'm a Moorish American and I'm saying that I'm coming from these names right here and saying, no, I'm not that. Don't treat me like that. And then I'm trying to link arms with somebody that wants to be that. Wait a second, man. You got to say that you don't want to be a Negro, black, or color. You want to be who you are. When you take that DNA test, they do not give you none of the names on that shirt that's crossed out. I never seen a DNA test that said you're black. No, they give you a nation. They give you countries. They give you a continent. Claim one. Claim it. Live it. Live the life of who the people that you're saying that you are. Then we could link up in nation to nation and have the business. But if you trying to come from the point where we just got like, no, we ain't, you trying to put me back into slavery. I'm trying to get away from the slavery. You trying to put me back into slavery. And it's saying fight with you while you're in the slavery state. And I'm saying, no, come out of the slavery state, right? And if you got to claim your, take a DNA test, take one. Or guess what you do have the right to do? Pick one on your own. Somehow people claim Africa but are scared to pick a country from Africa. Pick one. Stand on it. Live like the people who are from that country. And I'm saying at this point, then we'll be a nation. We could all be under any nation that we say. We'll just be different nationalities under one nation. At the point we have to come up with a name, is what I'm saying. Some name has to come up that we pick. Like how my father picked Moorish American. I'm saying Let's pick something and then stand on that and then go to the government and say, this is what we are. We want these rights. This is what it is. And they're going to say, all right. Right? I'm saying at this point, if you want to stand on something, at least stand on who you is first. Then I could rock with you all the way. It's hard to fight with somebody who's not standing on something. But you want me to stand on everything that what you're just saying. It's just coming out your mouth, but there's nothing on paper. I'm saying put something on the paper and let's go through the legal processes to get it solidified, how I'm showing you that Moors already did. And then let's rock out. I could rock with that. I can't rock with the putting me black into the. My dad was born Negro black color. He went through the process to get that removed, right? And I'm saying, why can't everybody do that? Why can't you claim a nation? What's wrong with claiming a nation on the earth? When you go to a 5-year-old Mexican and you say, what are you? He just say Mexican. It just blurts out. He don't even have to think twice. It's real. You can look up Mexican, see where Mexicans come from. If you look up black, if you look up African American, if you look up what a Negro, do you know right now in the FBA, when they're trying to get their little money, they're trying to tell people who's black and who's not? There's black people telling other black people, you're not black. This is getting hilarious. Right? So now if you come from Jamaica, you're not black. You're not black if you come from the Caribbean islands now. Just so they could get some money on some reparations, they're literally telling Jamaicans that they're not black people. How? Right? My brother married a person from Ghana. My nephew is a real African American, a real one. Right? And the other people who saying that they're African American is not like him. He's actually claiming a country in Africa. Right? His mother is from Africa. His father's from America. African American. A real one. I'm just keeping it real, DMG, man. It's a lot of fake stuff going on, and they're acting like it's real. Right? And I don't have no problem with black people, right? I did community service for 17 years. So when somebody's sitting on the side who never did nothing for their community or never stood for nothing of the everything that we live for, man, don't tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing when I didn't put my work in. That's the reason why I could say what I'm saying right now, because I actually put the work in with the so-called same black kids that I'm talking about. So-called black kids, right? I done been dealing with for 17 years. So I dare somebody who been sitting on the side to tell me about some black children, because that's all I've been dealing with. So at the end of the day, when I'm putting in the work with them, I'm seeing the position that they in, and I'm saying that just a couple little things and adjustments, like how you said, even at 40 something years old, the adjustment can still be made. And I'm saying if you make it as a child and then they grow up with this adjustment already in their head and they don't know nothing else like me, right? I'm gonna be 50 years old this year. So I've been living this life. I've never been nothing else. I never was Christian. I never was the Sunni Muslim or not Jehovah. No, nothing else. I only been Moorish American the whole time. So I mean, I'm speaking from somebody who done did this, right? And I'm speaking for somebody who got receipts. Because a lot of Moors, when they saying this, they don't got no receipts. I'm just keeping it all the way real with you. Takeover Tuesday.
Take over Tuesday. And brother, are you ready to open it up for the chat, or you want to get out of here?
No, I have no problem with opening up to the chat. I just got a couple rules for the people who's coming up. Right?
Okay.
I'm not dealing with no foolishness. Right? I'm working on me. Right?
This
I'm
this this
working on me.
this is how we
Huh?
do it. This is how we do it. So chat, y'all know what it is. You got one question. The brother not here to debate. He punched his card for the Versus series. So in the Versus series, they get paid to debate. And I ain't got no money to get his brother right now. So when you come up here, you got one question or one comment. There will be no back and forth. The brother is going to respond to your question or your comment, and then we will move on to the next person. If there is no one else up here, you can engage with the brother. And you might get a little more leeway than you usually do, because my wife just brought me a lemon pepper chicken sandwich from Wingstop down here. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. My brother, the Moorish Barbarian, will be here to answer your question or respond to your comment. You get one, unless you're the only one up here. Link is in the chat. Classic Craig, I didn't ask you your opinion. Classic Craig, ain't you a vegan or something? Don't worry about me and my chicken. Eat your kale or whatever you eat. You know what I mean? We got the queen of the barbarians in the building. And all I got to say is,
Are you not entertained?
What's your question or comment?
Hey, I had to give it a good job, Apollo Moorish Barbarian. He was in the building. I did have a question though. When you said the thing about like you guys don't really care about like the government part. I understand like you're set apart. Do you all vote at all? Or is there like a decree against that or something?
No, we vote. We're actually, like I said, we're part and partial with the government. So we definitely got to follow all the laws, and we definitely vote. And I mean, I voted for the first time this last election.
Oh, cool. Okay. Like you said, one question, so I'll wait.
Oh no, you can ask another question. You know what I mean? Shout out to the bar reloaded. And most Moors are Republican. I could probably say that.
Oh yeah, so I have another thing. So is the only difference between you and another person that's like African American or whatever, is the only difference like the fact that you have paperwork that says you're free?
No, I mean the reason why I say this because everything goes with the mindset of a person, right? So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
your mindset is what makes you who you are, right? It's because if you can't understand something,
You went out, bro. You went out. You still there? Can you hear us, bro?
Is he on mute?
It might be his connection.
Yeah, you might have to go out and come back.
It's raining here.
You might have to go out and come back. Let's see. So the brother looked like he went out. He will be back, hopefully. Hemi, what did you have for the brother? Did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for him. I'll wait till you get back so I can ask it. It's basically tied into the nationality thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I do claim African American, so I just want to ask him, like, is me claiming African American taken away from my divine origin, or is that just acceptable for me to, to claim African American under the conditions in which, we got here? You know what I'm saying? Like, does that change who I am, in the spiritual realm, or is it just yeah?
Hemi, I ain't gonna hold you, man. That sounds like a DMG question.
Right, yeah.
Facts.
I ain't gonna hold you, man. I feel like you've been watching me, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but yeah, I just want to see that, see how he respond to that, because I get what he's saying about the his Moorish belief and how they,
Right.
identify as a people. But if I'm rooted in, God and Christ, does it matter that I'm claiming this American thing because that's where I was raised? You know what I'm saying? So
All right, we got the Moorish Barbarian back on the stage. Hemi, you can ask your question, brother.
yeah. So Apollo, my question for you is, if I claim African American, do you see that as an issue, or does that strip me from my divine origin? Meaning, like, I'm connected to God through Christ, right? And I'm just claiming African American because of the conditions of which, we got here, right? That's the conditions in which I was raised. I don't know nothing other than being an African American because I was born in America.
You saying, does that have anything doing with your spirituality?
Yeah, does it strip my divine origin? Like, does it strip me away? So if I continue claiming African American, would that have any effect on where I come from or where I'll be going in the afterlife?
No. The only thing that I could say to that part is, the the life that you would be living, while you're, the life that you're living right now, like, maybe that part wouldn't go into effect, because you can't really tell until you went into the afterlife and you would know whether you're getting through the pearly gates or not. See, that part right there would go down to the person that you are. So it don't matter if you African American, or you Moorish American, or whatever American that you saying, that you Italian American, Chinese American. If you're not living a righteous life, and you living a unstable and wicked life, then that part would play into whether your divine nature or not.
I concur.
So
Real quick, we got to move over to Zion, but we're going to come back around to you.
I got you.
Zion, you got a question or comment for the Moorish Barbarian?
Yeah, no, okay. So the first thing I want to agree with them on that.
Wait, Zion, hold up. My bad.
I know.
My bad. Please,
all right.
Please excuse me. I gotta play this. You already know what I gotta do, brother. Hold on.
I'll make a pact with you, with the gods as our witnesses, Let us pledge that the winner will allow the loser all the proper funeral rituals.
There are no pacts between lions and men.
There are no pacts between lions and men. So my brother, Apollo, keep that in mind with these questions, this lion about to ask you. Go ahead.
Listen, B, I actually agree with them on a lot of stuff. So because you know, the Moorish science temple, Noble Drew Ali, actually a lot of the same teachings are in the original commandment keepers and the Moorish Hebrew Ethiopians or Moorish Hebrew Israelites that started in 1920s. So you know, when he said 1933, the only conjecture I had was, you know, the Moorish title started with us. With you know, I'm a Rastafari, so that's the original community that title, the Moorish title, actually started with before Noble Drew Ali established. And the second, the real question that I had for him was see, now I think what the other brother Hemi just brought in actually kind of answered the question to a degree. So when we deal with nationality, right, as opposed to even like the spiritual side, which was Hemi was bringing out, was his spiritual identity, we're dealing with nationality on a political scale, more or less, correct? My brother?
Correct. I was on mute.
Okay, so we're dealing with nationality from the more of a natural sense, like, okay, you have documentation to prove that you're a national of this, that, and the other, right? Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I think some people don't understand what nationality means on a socio-political scale.
So if you with the way that you're constructing a question, right? I my answer, if for the people, wouldn't basically go along the lines of what you're asking me, right? I mean, the question I could answer the question better without actually answering the question that you're asking me. So
do what you gotta do. Yes, sir.
If you're going on nationality and you're talking about on the political thing, like, well, along the lines what Honey had asked, do we vote and what's our stance? Like, that's Republican. So, and when we don't have our own political party, so our party basically is Republican. Now you're asking me basically on a birthright, right? Because birthrights deal with nationality. So I'm saying that your name represents, and this goes with when you understand, when you hear certain names, that you automatically associate the person to the name. So if you've seen another Bay, right, and now you talk to me, you would ask them, do they know anything about, you know, you might ask them about me because you're going to associate Moorish American with them and with me, and then that's how family and on a tribal basis, if you could understand what I'm saying.
Can. Absolutely. That makes sense too. You know, from the Ethiopian World Federation, you know what I'm saying, was established in 1930s, you know what I'm saying, around the same time, you know what I'm saying, we gained nationality with Ethiopia through an actual what do you call it? Like a contract document that's acknowledged even in America, and also acknowledged. Yeah.
Like a writ.
Yeah. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's you know, you got your
declaration.
It's a declaration. You know what I'm saying? So as a national, I claim my nationality to be Ethiopian, because, you know, there was a land grant and there was, you know, certain things that established.
And I'm not to cut you off, brother, but you know, congratulations on taking a step to freedom, right? Because if you don't
Exactly.
understand, a person don't understand, there's other steps that you have to take to get to the process, right? So the
Hey,
process definitely starts with claiming a country. You went to the fact.
brothers, I don't want to interrupt y'all, Bill, but I do want to get back to Hemi because I want him to get a second question, and I want Zion to get a second question. Then we're gonna get out of here.
All right, no doubt. But at the end of the day, everybody has to make that step and claim some country. If you're gonna say you're African,
Fell out one more time.
Yeah, your pilot sound like you're getting a call.
yeah, my fault. If you're gonna claim that you're African American, then you definitely got to claim a country in Africa.
Right. I would say so too. I kind of agree. You know what I mean? Just
Hemi, well, you got that? You got that second question for Apollo?
Oh yeah, he kind of like bumped into it, like kind of because I get what he's saying on as far as political freedom and rights and stuff like that. But again, I'm more so focused on spiritual freedom. You dig what I'm saying? So with that being said, like I say, if I'm claiming African American, because that's where I come from, that's where I grew up. It's the same as me claiming my block or whatever. You know, does that affect my divine origin and where I would go in the afterlife, or can I still become spiritually free and not bound by, you know, the enemy's sins or whatever, regardless
So
of what
you
nationality
putting
I come?
you're
Uh,
putting you're conflating two things, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter what nationality did you claim if you're not right in the order with the Most High. So at the end of the day, you could say that you're Moorish American or you could say you African American, but if you're not being right with God, then then that's the problem, and this corner you're gonna have to get over. Them is the hurdles that you got to get over. And I'm saying that, far as on your a day to day on the earth, my earthly salvation, right? And I'm saying it was taken. And if you don't understand that it
mm,
was something that it was taken from you, and
mm,
then it's hard for you to get the notion to want it back. Like if you seen your car riding down the street and your car was stole, all your emotions would go into as soon as you seen your car that, oh, it's time to go my whip. I'm on it right now. So, but if you don't understand your birthright was stolen, your nationality was stolen, and it's just sitting there, and they're like, well, whenever you want to ask and claim it, it's right here. But if you don't ask, I'm not giving. So
right.
that's the game that they're playing. Like he claimed Ethiopian. Did they say no? He can't be. No, they're not going to say no. That you could claim whatever country you want. They're not
yeah,
going to say no.
I guess I'm saying, what is it? What what is it really getting me? Like
What's the
what
problem?
do I
Right.
gain?
So if you
Yeah.
if you don't understand that every other nation, right? Let's just understand the other people in the world. Take African Americans out of the equation. Everybody else in the world is operating on a nationality level. And then they took African Americans and nationality in America, and now they don't care about what everybody else in the world cares about, right? If you went over to Iran and told the Iranians that you were trying to take their nationality, they would drop a nuke on you. If you said we was trying to come over here and turn them into something else and say they're not Iranians, or you go to any other country and try to tell them that they're not who they is, a war would start immediately. But you could go to African Americans and play with African Americans like that, and they not. And we're so much behind in the nationality and dealing with nations understanding that we don't even care. So the
Yeah.
Europeans is holding back information that y'all don't even care about.
All right, so I do want to address Hemi on that real quick too, and this is, and it's a trivial topic, whether spiritually it affects you. It doesn't. affect your identity to the Most High. However, you know what I'm saying? The Most High did promise that all things would be restored unto you. All of the things that you lost, that your ancestors lost, would be given back to you. God is giving you a gift, and it's right there. But we just say, well, as being an African American, we actually have really no real political identity besides choosing, left wing or right wing. But neither of those political parties really were ever for us, and that's not what we lost. What we lost is what God actually promised to give us back into our generations. So I would say it doesn't affect you in the afterlife. However, does it affect you on a socio-political identity scale, nationalistically, identity-wise? I think it does to a degree. And you can put how much importance you want into it as you want to. If you don't think that that's necessary, then all powers be, bro. You know what I'm saying? You do the will of God, and God is still going to bless you. You know what I'm saying? In the afterlife. However, I want all of my Krispy Kremes.
Can I respond to that? Can I respond?
Real quick, y'all. Real quick. I gotta do this. Shout out to my man Zion. I just tripped off something. All I'm gonna say is Zion. I remember that lyric from Nas when he say, the kid got his chip tooth fixed. Salute. Salute. You hear me?
Yeah,
salute.
Baby. Salute. No, wait till I get the grill, B. I'm gonna put the grill on it.
Salute. That's what's up, brother. That's what's up. I'm like, man, what? Wait a minute. Yeah, salute.
I ain't ashamed at 50 years old, B. Listen, B. Y'all can sit there and wrestle with them toothaches if you want to. I'll have another toothache again.
You hear me? You hear me? Listen.
And the ladies love my style.
I'm about to be right behind you, bro. I'm about to be right behind you. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm happy for you, man, because I know you happy. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, hit me. I'll say this.
Smiling all the time.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's what's up. Okay. Yeah, hey, Apollo. If Zion, because let me let him respond to Zion, and then I want Zion to get his second question, and then we'll let you close it out.
Let me say something to him, bro. Just one quick thing. And since he's asking me a spiritual question, right? And in the end times, the Most High is going to put everybody, all nations, every man back into his own country. So even the Most High is dealing with people nationality and nation-wise, right? Because if every man is going to be back in his own country, then he's letting you know that you should know what country you're going back to. I'll leave it on that.
So let me respond to both brothers as briefly as you can, and then we'll get to Zion for a second question.
I guess, yeah, I hear what both of y'all are saying, but the Bible also says, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul, right? So from what I hear y'all saying is me claiming a nationality while I'm living will give me political gain, right? And I'm asking, what is there? So if I chose to say that I'm Ethiopian American today, right? What is my profit? What do I get from that other than now I go by Ethiopian American and I'm filling out applications, whatever. What do I gain from that? Can either one of y'all explain?
You go ahead, Apollo, then I'll respond.
All right. So, I mean, I took you through the black codes, right? So if you don't care about that part right there, then it's hard to explain, like I said, to somebody who doesn't. You're basically saying you don't care about something, but you want me to explain something to you, that you don't care about, right? That's a very hard thing to do.
No, I care. I'm just asking, what would I gain?
No, I understand. Not saying that you don't care, like, because of course you asked the question, did you care? I'm saying you don't care far as if you did, you would pick one, and then you would see the benefits of the life benefit of actually living in a state of knowing who, because the first thing is to know thyself. So when you're saying that and you don't know who you are, then how do you know thyself? How do you understand the first question of understanding the world? If understanding the world is knowing who you are. So if you don't know who you are, and then my whole thing is for the people who we are, who do we claim that we are, and the actions and that we take when somebody takes something from us. I can't understand when we heard the word it was took. Why isn't we going into the same mode that we go in when anybody takes anything else from us? We want it back. Period.
Right.
Now, not later. Now, give me all the mines. Like you said, I want all the mines
All my
now.
Krispy Kremes, baby. But yo, okay, look at it like this. Say you meet a woman who does not care for the gold or the diamond ring, right? She just loves you for you. And you're gonna love her regardless because she doesn't have that requirement. She doesn't need it. However, as a man, you might just want to give her that ring. You just might want to. It just and it might not mean as much as you know, other people put emphasis on a material gain or on gold and diamonds and all of those things. However, the fact that you went to the extra length, because even though she didn't care whether you freaking needed to give that to her or not, she was going to love you anyway for the rest of your life. How about the fact that when you gave it to her, it was a surprise? You went through the sacrifice. The Bible says that where a man's heart lies, you know, I'm going to bring some Bible scripture, where a man's heart lies, there shall his treasure be also. So why wouldn't God have a treasure for us to give back, even though we don't necessarily need, I'm about to preach, hallelujah, hallelujah back. We don't need to have, you know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need to have the monetary, but when God makes a promise, he gonna keep it. And God said he was gonna restore all things back to you, not just you, but your generations that come after.
Right, but y'all kind of proving my point.
No, but we on the same page. But at the same time, don't deny the gift that God intended to give to you, regardless of whether you needed it or not. He said he was gonna give it. You gonna deny it? I'm done.
Oh man.
Yeah,
All right.
this ain't a debate. This ain't a debate. So I get what they saying, man, and like I said, they kind of with their responses kind of following along with me, because they just separating the spiritual from the living. It really is not. Is, you know, I want my stuff back. It's from what y'all saying. You know what I'm saying? I get that. I'm just saying,
God
like,
to give us the blessing. Yeah, we
yeah,
want
but
God to
God
give
gonna
us
bless you,
all the
right?
blessings.
And so what I'm saying is God gonna bless you
He so
regardless.
sees fit. Yeah, if he so sees fit to bless us everything he said he was gonna give us. You
Right.
know what? Who am I to say, no, I don't need that.
Right.
I mean, I don't need it, but you know what? Thank you for it.
No, I got it, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, DLG. Apollo.
I thought Zion was about to hit you with that Geno Jenkins voice, man. But yeah, Apollo Bay, go ahead and close us out, man. Let me shout out Zion the Lion for jumping on the panel. Appreciate that, brother. And we got something coming up, I believe, next Tuesday or next Monday.
We could do Tuesday. We could do the Takeover Tuesday. That give me a little time to put something. I got some heads I need to listen. I'm an OG now. I gotta talk to my young folk.
No doubt, no doubt. So
My young folks, bro, I love y'all, but we got some work.
check Zion out next Tuesday on Takeover Tuesday. Shout out to my man Hemi. He got a debate coming up with the Islamic intimidator, the brother known as Issa. We don't have a date yet because I believe my brother is moving, but as soon as we get clarification on what days would be good, we're going to get with those brothers and we will get the date of that debate to y'all. Classic Craig, what you got to add before you going to jump up here when we getting ready to shut it down, man? What you got, man?
You know, I was going to do that, man. I was going to ask Apollo some questions, but next time.
No. Hold on. If Apollo good with staying, you could ask your questions. I gotta go. That don't mean y'all gotta go.
Nah, it's gonna be quick, man.
Because I see you in the closet. So you can shut it down, brother. Just understand. Give my brother some time to close this thing out. Let people know where they can find him. He already said he punching his ticket for the Versus series. So we got to get to work on finding him an opponent. But go ahead, brother. You know what I'm about to do, Craig. You know what I'm about to go do.
You wild.
And yes, it involved those fresh manicure.
We get it. Okay,
that fresh pedicure and a jar of good old honey.
All right, we get it.
So y'all brothers, please proceed. Stay up and build as long as you like. Hey, brother Apollo Bay, man, I appreciate you chopping it up with me. You answered all the questions thoroughly. And make sure Classic Craig let you close out before y'all get out of here.
Yo, did you get that track that I sent you?
Thanks, DMG.
Let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna let you know before I jump off.
Wow. You always gotta announce this shit, man.
I always gotta announce what?
You wild, man.
What? Yep, I got it, bro. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all might hear that. Hey, when we come back on Thursday for the results show, the results show of Lucifer versus Laurel will be this Thursday. Y'all might hear that track by my brother Zion. So y'all stay tuned for that. Y'all proceed. And Craig, man, listen, man, don't be scared to put honey on them candy coated toes, boy. Do your thing, man.
Wow. I don't even have no more questions for. I had a arsenal of questions for Apollo, but you didn't just took them all away, DMG. But anyway, yeah, Apollo. Yeah, we're just gonna close out, man. I'm glad you're coming into the Versus series, man. It's gonna get real. You know what I'm saying? So tell everybody where you can find you. You know what I'm saying? So we can get it all popping, bro. And we'll close it all out, man. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt. All right. Shout out to Paradigm Shift for having me on. You know what I mean? It's a pleasure and a blessing.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Bar Reloaded. Shout out to the Lions Den. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Barbarians, man. It's big Barbarian energy up here, man. You could anybody that want to get in contact with me, you can get in contact with me through the Bar Reloaded or the Lions Den, Karima, or Honey. It's the Moorish Barbarian, man. I'm coming for all y'all heads. Y'all know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna end it on that, man. Shout out to Noble Drew Ali. I'm standing on all of his teachings. And it is what it is.
So let me ask you this, because DMG running the damn mouth. Hey, check it out. Let me ask you this real quick. A9 is coming into the Versus series, right? And you got individuals like, I've been hearing rumors that you got Domo trying to, swim over here. You feel me what I'm saying? So, you and A9, I don't know y'all's history or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But what is the contention between you two, if you don't mind me asking? Like when it come down to the debate spirit, not the personal shit. I don't know if it's personal, but what's the contention between you and A9?
Is you talking about Anonymous Hebrew?
Yes, sir. Anonymous Hebrew. AKA.
That's my man. You know what I'm saying? It's other than nothing other than that.
I'm not talking about no beef or nothing. I'm just talking about the contention when it comes down to the information. You feel me?
Yeah. So I debated his boy Orthodox Moor, and he said that I guess that I didn't come, correct, or my information uh didn't wasn't better than Orthodox Moor, which it clearly was. So I asked him to take the debate, and I took it light on Orthodox Moor. I didn't even put out all of the information because I really wanted to debate a Hebrew. And so because it hits harder and it's more refined and defined when I'm talking to a Hebrew, right? Because they gotta actually abide by everything, especially if you not an Old Testament and you go by the whole Bible. Then yeah, definitely you're gonna have to, listen to these scriptures that I'm gonna be hitting you with, and there's no way to get around it.
Okay. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got
At
you.
the end of the day, my stance is the Ancient of Days is not the Lord of Hosts, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And far as all the scriptures say, the Strongs, the Blue Letter, the lexicons, all of them agree with me that what I'm saying, right? In the breakdown that I'm saying. And people is out here using sources like the Blue Letter or the lexicon or any definitions that's being broke down for the language barrier, right? So they're showing you the Greek and the Hebrew and the Aramaic translations of these words. And I'm saying when they're giving the definitions and the translation of these words, they're clearly saying what it is. It's man and it's people who have doctrines that they made up, who changed what the meaning of things was and how it was said and who was saying it. And when you do these things, that's when you could come to different conclusions. And that's what people have right now.
Okay.
But it was clear to Moses, and it was clear to the prophets and the disciples of who's who and what was what.
So let me ask you this, right? So you're entering the versus series. So,
Yeah.
win, lose, or draw, and really there ain't no draws no more because I eliminated that.
Yeah, ain't no losing neither.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But of course, you get paid, and et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? You can get DMD can work out all those particulars, right?
Right.
But my thing is, who do you mainly want to debate? You want to get into the grills of the Christians? You know what I'm saying? The Hebrews, like what's your forte, or are you just all around it?
I'm all around her. I don't have no picks. I've been in debates already, right? And I done debated atheists, Christians, Moors, Hebrews. I
Mm-hmm.
done debated them all. So it don't really matter who it is. It's all about as you standing on the truth. There's only one truth. And that's what I rock with. So if you ain't saying something that's in the lines with the truth, then any debate is possible.
Okay. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. So I see that. Because mainly I do know you. You know what I'm saying, from the Lions Den. I know you became a barbarian. You know what I'm saying. You joined the clique. You feel me? But
Ho,
I
ho,
do.
ho, ho, hold on. I'm a founder barbarian,
Oh, you're a
right?
founder. Okay, I got
Yeah.
my
So we're
information.
gonna get that straight, right? When the
Oh, you a
barbarians was
founder
started, yeah, I was in the mix in the beginning,
in the
founder.
beginning. So how did it all come together? How did it become what it is now? If you don't mind me asking.
How did the barbarians start? That's what
Yeah,
you asking?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Since you're a founder, you know what I'm saying.
We started from Israelite Williams, Hemi, and myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
We came together as a debate team, and we went against Naga.
Mm-hmm.
And
On the
you
Lions,
know,
right?
huh?
That was on the Lions Den. I think I seen that debate.
Yeah, we debated Naga and Honey. That was the beginning right there. Honey, me, Israelite Williams, and Hemi. And then other members was added after that. So and then that's where we come to where we at right now. But it is what it is. It's a mentality. You know what I mean? We kill what we keep what we kill. So it is what it is. That's the barbarian way.
I got you. But so here's my thing. In the versus series, who would you want your first opponent to be?
The only reason why you know, because Pan is a barbarian. So that's who I would want first, but he's a barbarian. So I would take whoever's number two.
You'll take whoever's number two, but you got to get ranked first. You feel
That's
me?
what I'm saying. You
Pan.
gotta go by rankings. I'm saying this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't go by rankings, I'm saying anybody who's in that uh ranking system that's not a barbarian, I'll cut their head off. Easy.
Well, the thing is, check this out. With Pan, Pan didn't start off as a barbarian. Well, he joined you guys, right? But even to get to him, right? You know, he has a little. It's a little. What's the word? It's a little loophole with him, right? So check it
Yeah.
out, right? You get ranked, you know what I'm saying? You can challenge the champion, which Pan is, right? That's his thing. You feel me?
Yeah, I
And what
wouldn't
goes on,
challenge Panda.
you know what I'm saying? So my thing is at the end of the day, you know, there is no, how can I put it? We understand that, but when it comes down to the business, it's the business. If you have a title to hold, you have a title to hold. Like for example, Sid holds the Lions Den belt over here, right? You can go over him. Like we're gonna have the social media tournament, right, in a minute,
Yeah.
right? And that social media tournament, you know, that's gonna describe
Well,
our new social
you
media
could
champ.
give me Sad. That's an easy one right there. You said it.
You want Cedric,
Yeah.
Ortega.
And listen, I'll take any one of them chumps. They all chumps to me.
You know, if you beat Cedric, you be the champion. But check it out though. Check it out though, Apollo. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
Let's get you. Let's get you in. You feel me? Because I like your spirit. I like your fire. You know what I'm saying? You remind me of Pan a little bit. So I like how you can pretty much go in and go at it. So let's put it to you like this, right? We're gonna get you in. We're gonna get you started. You know what I'm saying? I like what
Saying
you.
I gotta take some low level debater.
Ain't nobody saying that, brother. Because nobody's low level over here. You feel me?
I'm
Because
saying in the rankings.
no. Check this out. You gotta understand. In the rankings, none of them are low level. You feel me? Now,
No, not their debate level. I ain't talking about their level because there's probably people just lower in the levels that could probably beat the champ if they had a chance. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, do I gotta go against a low ranking? Because I ain't when I said level, I meant by their rank, not by their skill. So I'm saying a
well,
low ranking debater, is that's what you saying? I gotta start with one
no,
of them down there.
no. Really check this out, right? In the
What's the
rankings,
highest rank that I could get
you can go
one
up.
of them?
You can go up against number one. Okay, we got a top 10. You can go against number one, number two, number three.
No,
There's
I'm
a
saying I can't start with number one. I'm saying what's the
yeah.
highest rank that I could start with?
Well, check this out, right? That depends on the judges. That depends on them. When you go up against a person in the rankings, it's based off your performance, your smoothness, how well you're able to lay down information, and then they choose where you are ranked. You feel me?
So
But
what if I wash anonymous Hebrew? Where would I be ranked then?
Well, check this out. A9's not ranked yet. He has a debate coming up to get ranked against another individual, right?
Yeah.
So he can get into the rankings. But right now, because Penn had his championship match, he defended his title. He's 5-0. He defeated LP, right? LP is going down the rankings. I know that for sure because he lost. That's the rules. But not only that, you got some individuals in the top 10, things are going to change. You see what I'm saying? It changes every month. So when it changed and it come down to it and we're done, bam, when the new rankings come out, you can challenge any one of those individuals that's available. You feel me? And then if you do pretty well, either they out or they can pretty much go in and do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be ranked. It's just like that.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to see how I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah,
me,
it's very
can't
simple.
nobody really mess with nobody that's in the barbarians. It is what it is.
Him he does pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. He really knocked down some doors. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, what most people don't understand, right now in Paradigm Shift, we're going through some major changes. Like we got a lot of competition coming over. We got a lot of individuals who are like who got big names coming over here to debate now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of honored for that. You feel me? But it's a bit bigger little bit more wilder, a little more ferocious. So we're gonna get some fiery debates, bro. But my thing is, you coming in the versus series. You coming in hot, and I appreciate. At least you want to debate. You feel what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of individuals, they talk their talk, but they don't. They'll never get out there and debate. I don't understand why. So, but it is what it is. But other than that, I'm glad you're here, brother. We're gonna rock out, man. You got to come up with some presentations, though, Apollo. On some source and slides. You know what I'm saying? You got to, if you're cool with that. You know what I mean?
What you mean, just on the before I debate?
No, no, not before you debate. I'm just saying whenever. You know what I'm saying?
And when I
Like,
debate, I if you come with some without a PowerPoint or some slides and no sources, you just a bum out here. I'm putting that on the record.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. But what I'm just saying, like, I would like a presentation out of you, probably like a source and slides. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a few others. I think A1 is supposed to come up with a presentation. A few other individuals too, man. Just to get into the sovereign citizenship more. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like your ideology. You know.
No,
But
I ain't a sovereign citizen. I'm saying no, I don't rock with that. Even though I know about it, but I don't rock with it because it's going against the laws that's set up right now. So, and at the end of the day, if you want to claim to do a sovereign citizen, right, and then and there's nothing wrong with that if you really know what that is, right? Because it's nothing but claiming the private side versus the public side. So
right.
if you understand that, you don't have to like claim like the sovereign citizen, like how people do it when they do it under the Moorish banner, because the sovereign citizen thing was around before Moors was even claiming to be under that banner.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you could just claim the private side, and you don't have to go with none of the okey doke type of stuff that goes along with that
Okay.
stigma. So that will be on you when you claim to be a sovereign citizen.
So check it out, right? This is another thing too I've noticed. A lot of individuals, they do have a problem with Moors. You know what I'm saying? They say either you guys are scammers, either you guys don't have the capability to stand in the court of law, and you're bound by the laws of the land, right? Now, I noticed you said, talking about with Noble Drew Ali, other individuals, that individuals are basically just paying attention to what the enemy is saying instead of what their people are saying. You feel me? Um, and that does hit home. But from what most individuals, they feel like if it doesn't work, it's a scam or something like that. But can you elaborate on that right quick, and then we're gonna get the hell up out of here.
Well, I saw with legal documents that it's not a scam, first
Mm-hmm.
and foremost. Now, what somebody does with the real thing is the scam. That's where the scam part. When somebody tries to make you pay for the things that I'm talking about, that's the scam. The only thing that you have to pay is you have to pay the government for any type of legal process or legal services that they was rendering you. But other than that, when people like try to say that you have to pay for a free national name or you got to pay for this, or that's the scam. So when somebody is doing that part right there, then that makes what I'm saying and what I'm doing and giving it a bad look. That's why I said the separation part of the things is so off key and misunderstood that there has to be like, that's why we separate ourselves from everybody else,
Right.
right? Because at the end of the day, the things that other people stand for, we don't believe in those things, right? And if you don't believe in the same thing as then you can't stand with them. So at the end of the day, right? If I show you, I'm gonna break it to you like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
People say that they come from slaves, right? So if
Right.
I went to your same slave ancestors, right? These same people that you say you come from, and I showed them my paperwork and gave them the understanding of what I'm saying, right? Versus what anybody else is saying, including not you and personally, but in you or anybody else, right? Versus what y'all are saying. And I showed them that I have a free, once I say the word free to somebody that was enslaved, they're no longer listening to nothing that y'all have to say. they're going to go with me, right? So your peoples that you claim that your slave, that you ancestors that you say you come from, if I showed them that I had a free national name, I guarantee they would sign up for that. With no, I wouldn't have to say nothing else. All I have to say is, yo, free over here. There will be a long line. Right? But since they emancipated, and this is what I'm saying, look at the words that they're using. If you were free, why would they have to emancipate you? Make it make sense all the way around. Because everybody else who was enslaved, that was in the history of slavery, when the people said that they were free, what were they? Free. They didn't have to say emancipate. There wasn't no other words attached to their freedom.
Okay.
Right? But there's words and there's paperwork attached to our freedom.
All right.
Right?
So check this out. Check this out, Apollo. Check this out. Yeah, we gotta have some presentations from you, brother. When I say presentations on our source and slide, right? So we can get into this information a little bit more hotter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it's me, DMG, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. You know, we gotta get you in. But yo, glad we got you into the Versus series, brother. Hey, it's gonna be a wild whopper, you know what I'm saying? But I do gotta end the show. I just wanted to prove a point to DMG so he can stop trolling me. You know what I'm saying? The dude he always troll me, but shout out to DMG, and his nasty lemon pepper chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? But like he said, like DMG said, this Thursday the reveal, the winner between Lucifer and Laurel Burns. We're gonna see who won. We're gonna see what's popping. We're gonna see what's coming through. That was Apollo Bay of the Barbarians. This guy's coming in with that energy. He's ready for the smoke. He don't care. We're gonna get him to the Versus series, and we're gonna get this popping. So, hey. This was a fun interview. DMG had the majority. I had a little bit of it. It's all cool. But other than that, hey, I want to say peace, blessings. We out. We out. All right, Apollo. We out, Chief. Later.
Peace.
The following music is performed by the Musical Messiah, a.k.a. the most dangerous Bible believer. Please be advised by how hard it hits. For my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it. You gon' lose it, nigga. Living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You might know that neo-love, but neo-love or when he above. Switching lanes in the turning lane. Old school, no roof above. Carpool, no room for her. Bitch, you cartoons, we gets it up. We check the sources, you listen to voices. You are not living like us. You say you creeping in houses and all of the monsters is living in fearing of us. Pussy, we are not monsters and we are not pouncing and we are not giving a fuck. We up the score on you niggas. We done outgrown out you niggas. Nigga, yeah. With DM the G, Craig and the Craig and nobody. They saying Judah the Nash, but he be trash. Bring me the bag. Why the fuck would you brag with? No, you ain't living that bad. You are not rad. I take your choices and put them inside of a bag. Smoke them like hash. Then dump out the ash and now the pussy on the crash. You don't wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E.